Gentlemen, happy Friday morning. I'm Brian Bandas. Thank you for joining me here with the Married Man, home of the warrior husband. We've been talking about marriage and money, but before we jump into the idea of setting monetary goals with our wife, which is what we talked about in the email this week, I want to point us back to sort of the root of some of the drivers behind this. And that is the idea that we talked about a number of times of having a vision for what we want to build in our family, the kind of husband we want to have, the kind of marriage we want to have, the kind of legacy we want to leave. Having that vision and knowing what we're moving toward and letting that be sort of the driving force behind these actions of setting goals and working on the money aspect. The whole point, and I've begun each of these money emails with this idea that the goal is unity, right? But why is the goal unity? Well, the goal is unity because if we look back at our vision of what we want to build and who we want to be, now we go, oh, that's right. That's what I'm building towards. That's what I want. I want a rich, fulfilling marriage with my wife. I want to lay this foundation in my family that my sons can build off of. So pointing back to that vision first and wanting to remind you of that and give you the opportunity to grab hold of that and go, oh, that's why this is important. So once we remember, okay, this is what we're building toward, and this is what's important to me, this is what I want. And I think you might describe your vision differently than me. So I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know that you have something you envision for the future of your family and the future of your marriage that is meaningful to you and that matters to you. Cling to that as the driver and the motivation behind the need to do these things around money in marriage, because we know that money is a huge part of life and historically can create some real challenges in the marriage relationship. So we talked first about the idea of sharing the wealth and my belief that unity is the goal. Secondly, we talked about over communicating and really getting clarity on what money means to each person in the marriage. Is money something that causes fear? Is money something that causes hope? Do I derive security from money? Do I derive identity from money or from possessions? Is money about security? Is it about I want a big house? Understanding where the other person's coming from, and not just, hey, what do you want? What do you hope for? What do you fear? But why? There's something behind that at the root of it. A story I'll share, and I may have shared in the past, was that at one point in my life, I lived with my mother and my siblings in a place called the Texas Baptist Children's Home. It's in Round Rock, Texas. After my parents got divorced, there were some really hard financial times, and the four of us lived in the Texas Baptist Children's Home. We had this one little room back in the back, and for me, money is tied to some of those experiences, feelings of inadequacy and feelings of lack of security and experiences of the lack of money sort of dictating things in my life in a negative way. And it's become really important for Kelly, my wife, to know, hey, these are the experiences that are behind my feelings about money and my behaviors around money. So now we're on step 3, I guess, which is the idea of setting goals together. So once we have clarity on, hey, here's where I'm coming from and here's what's important to me, now we have worked together, and Kelly and I have done this, not perfectly, but we've tried to work together to set goals and boundaries that we honor together, and it becomes something that's unifying. So I'll just give you an example. One of ours, because I want to build up passive income and we want to experience certain financial goals, one way that we control our monthly spending is that we do one event eating out each week as a family, and we're not allowed to do more than that. And we just agreed together, okay, this is a good goal, we're going to do that. And then we have giving goals, etc., and things that we do together. So I would encourage you, because it does create unity and it creates, right, you're a team. This is not me against Kelly. How do I get mine? This is a team effort because we are a family, and whatever we build together, positive or negative, we're going to live through it and experience it together. And so we sat down and started to create these goals and create these boundaries together. It's a unifying experience. So I would encourage you and challenge you to take the time. It does take time. It does take effort. It does take a deal of patience. And you do have to go through that first process of of listening and understanding where the other one's coming from. But take the time to sit down together and work out, hey, what are our goals? What are our sort of guidelines, our parameters, maybe some rules that we are willing to commit to agree to, and to honor together. And I know that when I'm honoring those rules, I'm honoring my wife by doing that, because I've given her my word and we've agreed and sort of built this together. So I hope that's helpful. I know that if you take the time to do this, you will find it to be a worthwhile activity. Don't just fly by the seat of your pants. Be purposeful about it. Guys, thank you so much. It is absolutely, I say this every week, it is an honor to have the privilege of talking to you once a week. If there's someone you can think of that you believe would benefit from the message of the married man, please share it with them. And the married man continues to grow, and it is just so exciting to see more and more guys sharing this message together. So have a great week. I will see you gents on Monday.